Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a subject that I love, which is tarot. I have been reading tarot for about 4 or 5 years now, and the main way I use it as a practice is by incorporating it into my planning and journaling. So today we are going to talk about 5 different ways that you can use tarot to support your planning and journaling. I also want to say that these techniques are also applicable to oracle cards, or if you read with any sort of rune set or dice set, these could also work for you as well, but I know tarot the best, so I'm going to be talking about them in terms of tarot cards. But as with anything, you should be using what you have. You don't need to go out and buy a brand new tarot deck just to make these techniques work. Use what you have because first and foremost, your planning and journaling routine should be there to support you and work for you, not somebody else randomly on the internet. That said, I do hope that one of these 5 tips or more of these 5 tips can help you use tarot in your planning and journaling routine. Okay, let's get started. The first way I recommend using tarot in your planner or journal is by creating a year ahead tarot spread. So to create a year ahead spread when setting up your planner, you want to pull a tarot card for each month. What you want to do is lay out January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, right? So you can lay them out in this clockwork fashion that I've done, or you can just lay them out side by side, but you pull a card for each month and then optionally a card for the year. Once you have that down, you can record it in your planner however you see fit. This is my 2021 year at a glance with the tarot cards, with my 2021 card of the year being the Empress reversed. Each of these cards had a correspondence to a month, and so when the month came, I would simply focus on those cards and ask, those cards for their advice or their medicine. It doesn't have to always be as nicely designed or fancy as this. In fact, my first ever yearly tarot spread in a planner was in 2020 when I was just using a regular old bullet journal. I was only using pen and paper pretty much, and this is what it looked like, with just the words written out inside these little boxes that I drew and an arrow to indicate whether or not the cards were reversed. One thing you do want to pay attention to when you pull any sort of yearly spread or long-term spread with tarot is what elements are present, what cards are reversed, and what major arcana cards that come up, because this can tell you a lot about your energy for the year. So for example, the fact that we have a major arcana reversed as our yearly card should tell us something big is going to be blocked in our year that we need to pay attention to. We have a lot of cups in the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, several wands throughout this part of the year, another reversed major arcana, another reversed major arcana. So big stuff happening in the second quarter of the year, as well as maybe some grief, right? Some emotional things that are going to tie through the year with all these cups. So that's just an example spread, but you should be paying attention to mainly those 3 things when you pull these cards to get an overall sense of your year, and then we'll dive into how to use each of these individual cards later. The second way I recommend using tarot in your planner or journal is by incorporating it into your monthly overview or monthly cover page spread. When you set up your monthly pages, you often have a monthly dashboard or monthly cover page where tarot and oracle can be incorporated. This is my April monthly cover page in my Hobonichi Cousin, and you can see that I've pulled an oracle card here. I wrote down the little mantra that came with it in the book, and I also did a mini tarot spread. So this was really there to inform my month and tell me what I should be looking for and focusing on. To do this, start by selecting your deck of choice. Here I have the Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. Shuffle it and ask a question for the month. Usually I just ask, what do I need to focus on? And then pull the card that feels most right and listen to its message. So for example, if I was using this for June, it says the Horse and the Bluebell, modest, fortitude. What I would need to focus on for the month would be, how am I fortifying myself in a humble and modest way? What ways am I behaving like the horse and like the bluebell? Now, different oracle decks are going to give you their own spin on these messages, and you might select different oracle decks or tarot decks depending on the season. Woodland Wardens is a great one for like spring, summer, fall. But for example, if I just wanted to go traditional, I might use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck or another deck depending on how I was feeling. And that can really inform how you review or look at your month. The third way I recommend using tarot is by using it to reflect. Using a tarot card to reflect at the end of your month or week or whatever is especially useful if you've already done the year at a glance spread mentioned in tip number 1. But here you can see from my year at a glance spread at the beginning, let's go back to that page. The moon was my card for March, and it was reversed in 2021. Then on my March cover page, what I did is I made a prediction of what I thought that the moon reversed would mean for me in the month ahead. And then I kind of left it there and I forgot about it. And I came back at the end of the month and recorded how I actually felt about this card. What you need to ask yourself when you're doing this kind of reflection, if you've pre-pulled the card, is how did it show up for me? In what ways did I feel the message of this card? Sometimes oracle or tarot cards that you pull won't feel resonant, and that is okay. You don't always need to do the prediction side either. I'll show you an example of one that I didn't use with prediction. We're back in my 2020 bullet journal now, and you can see the King of Cups, which at that point I was drawing them and coloring them in grayscale. I asked myself, did I feel this card? And I didn't do a predictions spread. All I did was, did I feel this card? Did it resonate with me? And you can see that I have accompanied it with my regular review page. So this is just a review page that I do every month anyways, and I put this on a page next to it so that these materials would all be together. You can also just use tarot to review anything. So this I pulled shortly before I went on a trip, and I didn't intend to review with the card, but I ended up really resonating with the card during the trip, and so I journaled a little bit about that. The fourth way I recommend using it is by using it as a journal prompt. Tarot or oracle cards make great journaling prompts. As I mentioned previously, some of them have mantras that you can use. So for example, here I was journaling about how I felt stressed out in my body, and I pulled an oracle card from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. And this was the mantra: I feel embodied and empowered to move with strength and grace. And I just kept that mantra with me and then journaled on it a little bit after my experience. We can also use tarot as just regular recording readings as a journaling prompt. So I wanted to read with my first reading of the Alleyman's Tarot. I pulled a spread and I just journaled about what I felt and what I saw. Writing down your tarot readings is so helpful when you're first learning tarot, so I definitely recommend this if you're going to learn tarot or if you're thinking about learning tarot, because it is super, super helpful, and it's a great way to incorporate tarot into your journaling or planning process as well. If you want to write or journal and you just don't have any ideas, you can always use tarot as a prompt. So for example, ask the tarot deck a question such as, what isn't working in my life? If you get the Six of Wands reversed, maybe you are having an issue with celebrating your victories or something to that effect. Journal as to why that may be or how you can help prevent it. You can also ask your tarot deck, what is right under my nose that I'm not seeing? A Knight of Pentacles might indicate that some situation is moving very slowly, so slowly that you can't even detect that it's happening, but progress is being made. Or that something is being stagnated in your life, right? Especially if it's reversed. You can also ask your tarot deck other simple questions, just like, what should I be focusing on? Wow, lots of reversals in this example spread. But yeah, what should I be focusing on? A Four of Cups might indicate that you should be focusing on this cup that you're not looking at, right? You're looking at what you have and ignoring divine inspiration. If it's reversed, it might especially indicate that that is a blocked energy for you. It's really hard for you to focus on that right now. So these are just some examples of tarot prompts that you could use in your journals. You can look up just look up tarot prompts for journaling and you will see so many prompts. Let me know if you want me to make a more detailed video about more prompts that you could use for tarot for journaling, because the possibilities are truly endless. And the fifth and final way that I recommend using tarot in your planner or journal is to just fill up empty space. Filling up empty space can really apply to anything in your planner. So for example, sometimes you skip whole days in a dated planner, or if you are using a blank or undated planner, you might accidentally skip a page in the middle where you've written on this page and you've written on this page, and this page is just randomly blank in the middle. So you can do this with either type of journal, but basically you could ask yourself, okay, this date, what was I doing? Okay, I was traveling. Well, maybe I want to pull a tarot reading for like what came out of that travel for me. What did I learn? What lesson am I taking away? And then journal about how that applies to the weekend you traveled or whatever you were doing on these days. Similarly, you can also do something, and this works especially well with blank pages, but also with dated pages too. You can also just use this as a study page. If you're studying tarot, there's no reason, no rules that say you can't just have a page in the middle of your planner that has a couple of, like say we pulled a quick spread for this page. Say we just pull 3 cards and we want to study their relationship, right? So 2 swords and temperance. What is going on with these cards? Do we see water? We see water in at least 2 of them. We see swords in at least 2 of them. What relationship do these cards have? And that can be a way that you journal and fill up the blank page in your journal. It's also great if you have some blank pages, or rather pages that are partially blank. So you can see here, I filled out my to-do list for work on both of these days and a few personal tasks for this day, but I left this page blank, and usually I would journal there. Normally I would take that space for just a little bit of me time, but I just didn't for these days for some reason. And now I can still go back and use a tarot or an oracle card to just fill out. Maybe I use it as study, right? So maybe I pull the Queen of Cups and I just study the Queen of Cups. I don't even have to make it related to the day. No, again, there are literally no rules. You can just, take a little picture of the Queen of Cups and paste it in, or even just write Queen of Cups and write about what the Queen of Cups means to you. And then you have a little place where you've journaled, you've filled up the empty spot in your notebook that I know bothers so many people, having an empty spot like this. And then you're done and you've learned a little bit more about tarot. Okay guys, that is all the tips that I have for you today. If you guys liked this video, if you like tarot content, please like, subscribe, comment, you know the drill. Please definitely let me know if you made it this far in the video, what your favorite tip is. I would love to know. I definitely plan on making more tarot and journal/planner related content, so stick around if you liked it. Comment down below if you have any other tips or tricks for how to use planning or how to use tarot in your planning and journaling system, because I would really love to know and share the techniques with everybody. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.